Welcome back to Dragonfly Insights and part two of our four-part episode with Sabre Hospitality Solutions and Scott Basillo, the Vice President and Head of Sales for North America. Welcome back, Scott.
Thanks, Carol. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So in this episode, we're going to look at how hotel retailing can create revenue streams outside of just room revenue. You know, Scott, attribute-based selling has been a hot topic in the industry for a while. And it's been really focusing on guest room related attributes and really focused on kind of tearing the guest room apart and doing those additives, sort of like the airline industry does. But it's my understanding that Synexus Retail Studio goes well beyond the guest room. So is that so? And can you explain a bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And look, for as long as I've been doing revenue management, everybody's talked about attribute-based selling. But I think we've really got to this inflection point where we need to think about it differently. You are absolutely selling yourself short if you only think about the guest room. And that's exactly what attribute-based selling is focused on. And there's nothing wrong with it. We should consider attributes of the guest room when we price and when we strategize, but that's not a true retailing strategy. With Synexus Retail Studio, we believe instead that you need to be thinking about the attributes of a guest experience. And that goes well beyond the guest room to delivering the guest experience in a way that you and your guests have never imagined. Now, attribute-based pricing is a piece of this holistic retailing strategy. And that means you shouldn't just confine yourself to thinking about room attributes, but by instead focusing on retailing, inevitably it will lead to better guest satisfaction. Guests are more likely to have a better experience because they've been able to participate in painting a more vivid picture of their ideal trip. And retailing enables guests to create that ideal stay with greater confidence that their needs are going to be met when they check into the hotel. And whether that's a late checkout policy or airport transportation or spa appointments or entertainment once they're on property, it's the guest that is deciding what attributes of their stay, not of their room, but what attributes of their stay are most important. And retailing also leads to increased predictability for hoteliers as well. Think about your frontline staff and their front office who's able to anticipate that guest's need. By providing greater visibility into the demand for products or services, it leads to better revenue generation, it leads to better cost controls and profitability, and also leads to better staff management in the hotel when staffing at a time when staffing is so critical to hoteliers. If you're increasing your property's revenue stream, you're doing it by creatively monetizing all aspects of your on-property experience. It's not about just the room, it's everything within the four walls and on your property. Hoteliers in that regard will begin to generate greater total revenue, not just RevPAR, but TrevPAR, while simultaneously increasing guest satisfaction. And with Synexus Retail Studio, we enable the hotels to realize that true total revenue potential, which is only constrained by the limits of a hotelier's creativity.
That's a great way to put it, Scott. I think that, you know, what's interesting is for a few years, I've moderated various panels just on merchandising for hotels and, you know, how do we compete with Airbnb with all their experiences because they're so experience driven. And, you know, to me, it sounds like this product is going to open up a ton of possibilities to hotels to compete on a different playing field than they've been able to do in the past. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. This elevates the art of hospitality, right? We are not purveyors of guest rooms. I remember why I got into hospitality, and it was because I loved the look on the face of a family walking in for vacation and getting to show their kids Washington, D.C., which is one of the first places I worked, or the ability of a couple to recreate the night that they got engaged, right? It's those moments. And we empower that in a retailing world, right? We are creating those lifelong memories that the travelers will carry with them forever. I don't want to be in the business of selling a hotel room. It's a great business, but at the end of the day, I want to be helping hoteliers create exceptional lifelong memories in the minds of their guests. And that's what retailing does, because I don't know what's important to that guest. The guest does. And if we arm them and empower them with a retailing system that gives them the option to compound aspects of their stay together, then that is a true hospitality experience.
Absolutely. You know, it's been one of the things that has been sort of a debate with a few of our clients has been, well, what does luxury look like, for example? And I always say, well, luxury looks like choice. Like I have the choice to do what I want to do, when I want to do it, how I want to do it. So, you know, this gives an opportunity for me to create an amazing vacation or even an amazing business trip, adding on some fun stuff while I'm there. So I'm not just totally bored with business, right? And so I think it's going to be a game changer in the industry. So again, thank you, Scott, for being here and explaining to us, you know, what Saber's been up to, and we look forward to seeing this succeed. So everybody, please be sure to tune in for part 3, which will be coming shortly. Thanks, Scott. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Carol.